There are words that have syllables that sound the same or similar, but they are spelled differently with different vowels and consonants. So let's take a look at these words, and some of them are from Star Wars, you might recall. And Naboo, Stormtrooper, Duke, Tatooine, Boot, Flew, Chewbacca, Fluke, and Flew. So notice the difference in the spelling of all these words. And they all have the same sound. So ooh, Naboo, and Stormtrooper, and ooh, the U as in Duke, and Fluke, and EW, ooh, as in flew. So there are also words that sound the same or are spelled the same, but they have totally different meanings. And these are called homonyms. So let's look at some of those examples. Address. An address is something that you need to fill out an application. An address is where you live, right? And address can always also be address. So you address someone, and that's what I'm doing with this class right now is I'm addressing the class. So speaking with. Bat. A bat is an animal, a bird that can hang upside down, and you'll see them where? In a barn or someplace, and they're usually at night. You see them fly around at night. And a bat can also be something that you use to play ball with. Match. Match is something that you can use to start a fire. And it's also something where you could put two things together. So if you say want to match these two pieces of paper together, that's what match would mean. And bark. Bark is something that you'd find on a tree. Or bark is something that a dog would do. Rose. A rose is a flower. Stand. Change. Change can be money. It can be money that you pay a shopkeeper with to buy their wares. Or change can be just changing your clothes or changing your life, changing personality, doing something different. And that is what change also means. Close or close. Close is where you close the door, and close is where something is really close to you, but they're spelled exactly the same. Yard. A yard is something that is usually attached to a house, and it's outside, and a lot of times it's fenced in, and you let your dog out in the backyard to play or your kids out in the backyard to play. And a yard can also be a rule of measurement. So a yard is so long. So those are examples of what a homonym is. So they are spelt exactly the same, but they mean something totally different. Then there are sensory words, and these words apply touch, sound, smell, and taste. And sound words might be cooking. I can't do it very well, but clicking, and slamming, popping, Words would be abrasive, where it's really hard to touch, waxy, fluffy, and thick. Taste and smell words might be buttery, rotten, biting, oily. And sight words might be slimy, something looks slimy, coarse, crisp, and hot. Now, you'll notice that some of these senses intertwine and fall into other categories. So, slimy could be a touch as well as a sight word. And same with coarse and hot. Hot can be a taste word. So they do kind of intertwine into different categories. And you might also take a look at I put these in a list here so that we can actually make make some of these words into sentences using some of these words. So let's get together in groups. These words on the board, we'll leave them up here on the whiteboard. And in your groups, let's try to make up some sentences with these words.